So I'm headed to Loch Doon to do a strobes test. Now I've done a strobe test before, I think I've done a few of them, but it's been a couple of years. And I've never had a drone that can go as far as the drone I have now, which is the Mavic 3. So in the previous tests where I was testing to see how far I could still see the drone with strobes, it was limited to how far the drone could go. And I tested it with my Mini 2. And the range of the Mini 2, although it's good, is only about maybe 2.5 miles out before you have to return to home because of the battery. But you can see the strobes and the drone much further than that. So I'm taking my Mini 3 out, I'm taking my Mavic 3 out to Loch Doon to fly over the loch and just see how far I can see the drone with the strobes attached, which will be much further than I could with the Mini 2. Well, it'll be much further, I'll be able to fly much further than I could with the Mini 2. The reason I'm going to Loch Doon is because I'm very familiar with the area, and I know that over the loch there are no obstructions, no buildings, no overhead light power lines, nothing like that. And I know that aircraft can't come low because of the surrounding hills. So as long as I fly at approximately 75 metres, which should take me above the highest hill that I may encounter, I'll be perfectly safe to fly in the dark. And I will be flying blind with telemetry only because I wouldn't be able to see anything in the camera. Maybe I'll be able to see a little bit because the Mavic 3 has a low light feature which I haven't tried out yet, so that'll be quite good to do that today. So I may actually be able to see quite a lot on the screen even though it'll be dark. Now I'm going out, as you can see now, it's not completely dark yet, it's getting a bit dusky. And the reason I'm coming out now is because I'm going to do a test flight when I get there, and where I'll be able to see everything clearly, just to make sure that everything's safe and there's nothing unexpected in the area at the time, or just slightly prior to doing the flight. So that's why I'm going out just now when it's not completely dark. But by the time I've carried out the test flight and the dynamic risk assessment, it should be dark enough that you'll be able to see the strobes very clearly in the sky. So here I am at Loch Doon. The sun has gone down, but it's still quite bright. Dusk, I think you'd call this. This is the Mavic, DJI Mavic 3 that I'll be flying today, and I've attached 3 Flytron Cree strobes to it. On the port side I have a green one, on the starboard side I have a red one, and in the middle I have a white one. So I'm going to fly out just now and do a test flight just to make sure that everything's all right and there's no unexpected obstacles. As you can see, it's clear and bright and it looks good over the loch. There's no wind, no rain, nothing like that. So I'm going to do a quick test flight and then bring the Wallace back in. By that time it should be a bit darker, and I'll turn on the strobes and send them out again. In fact, I might even turn on all of the strobes for this test flight. So let's get them up in the air. So here's the Wallace ready to go. The only attachment that I have on the Wallace, apart from the 3 strobes, is the wee MacGyvered mount for an extra camera, which I'm not going to be using in this flight. So I'll turn on the strobes just now. And hopefully won't blind myself, because they're quite bright. I bought these strobes about 40, I'm getting blinded, about 4 years ago, So Flytron or Cree or whatever the name of the company is may have updated them and may have newer ones available, but these suit me quite well. Anyway, without further ado, as the YouTubers say, let's get the Wallace up in the air. Okay. Right, so I'll just have a wee look in the screen to make sure he's there and you can see him. Yeah, okay, that's looking alright. And I'll send him out for this test flight. Make sure everything's okay. And what I'll do is I'll also record the telemetry while we're at it. Okay, here we go. Oh, he seems to be flying off at a bit of an angle there. What's going on? Alright. Now let's just pull his altitude up. Right, I'm going to bring him back in the... Oh, I'm on spotlight mode, that's what's wrong. I don't want to be in spotlight mode. Ah, there we go, the gimbal wasn't working there because for some reason I must have touched a button and put him into spotlight mode. So I'm just going to put my gloves on, it's getting really cold. And can you still see him up there? Is he too high? Let me just tilt this up a wee touch. I can see him flashing away with my naked eye, but I don't think the camera is picking him up very well, if at all. I'll be able to tell better once I get back to the studio, but at the moment it doesn't look as if the camera's picking him up. However, I'm going to fly out and do this wee test flight while it's still fairly light. And I'll put them in sport mode because there are no obstacles I have to worry about there. Right, so it's dark enough now that I'm probably needing a light to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to send the Wallace out. I've already carried out a test flight for a dynamic risk assessment, and I'm happy that there are no obstacles and no problems. So I'm going to turn on the port strobe, which is a green one, and it'll probably blind me as soon as I do it. Right, so that's the green and red Flytron Cree strobes. So I'm going to send the Wallace out now, and hopefully you'll be able to see the strobes on the camera. But don't worry, I'll tell you what I can see with my naked eye. Right, I'll just turn the controller off for a minute because my screen's upside down. I don't know if you can see it, but I can see the moon up in the sky. Let me just loosen this off. I can see the moon up there, and there's a planet or a satellite up there somewhere as well. But anyway, we're going to be watching out in that direction there. Right, so start recording the telemetry. Start recording the video, because you're not going to be able to see much here. I mean a wee bit. So it's more about telemetry for you than anything. Okay, here we go. Oh, look at that nice bright light there. He's got quite nice landing lights. You can probably see me quite well using that. Okay, what does that say? Vision system, no obstacle avoidance. That's fine. I'm going to be in sport mode anyway. Right, here we go. Right, can we actually see him on the screen? Ah, there he is. Right, okay. Right, I better tilt this back a wee touch then. There we go. Alrighty, off he goes. Now I'm kind of half blinded with having the strobes shining in my eyes there, but I can still see the Wallace's lights shining, or strobing, flashing, clear as day. I don't know how well the camera's picking this up. The problem with the iPhone I'm using to record the video is that it's got a fantastic light sensor in it, so it lightens everything up. I mean, it's almost completely dark here at the moment, and but the camera, the iPhone camera I'm using to record the strobes, I can hardly. It's very, very bright in the screen, so I don't know if you'll be able to see the strobes. I can see them; they're flashing away, really clear. And he's out at 1.5 kilometres at the moment. So I'm going to keep going, and he's up at 90 metres. We'll take him up to 100 metres. 100 metres in height or altitude. And he's now out at 2 kilometres and clear as a day. Absolutely clear as a day. Is that a saying? Clear as a day? I don't know. Right, I've just picked up a bit of RC signal interference, so that's because I moved and turned away for a second. Right, so you can still see him flashing away there. Absolutely plain as day. There you go. Plain as day, 2.5 kilometres out. And I'm just raising his altitude up to the maximum permitted, which is 120. He's just under that. You'll be able to see this in the telemetry anyway. Still flashing away, clear and bright. Now that's 3 kilometres, and I can still see him absolutely clearly. Those lights are, strobe lights are flashing away. Red and green, red and green. Now you probably can't see it. What I'll do is, wonder if I can zoom in and you might be able to see things. Oh, there you go. I can see them now. Right, so there you go. I've zoomed in with the camera, but that's 3.5 kilometres. I can still see them with the naked eye. Absolutely fine. Now I know you're not actually seeing much on the screen, but it's all about telemetry. Oh, there's a car coming down there. Well, I think it's a car. Anyway, right, I'll just lower this. Whoops. A wee touch. Oh, too much. A touch too much. There we go. There he is there. Flashing away. So you can see that. Whoops. Still flashing away there. Sorry about all the messing about. So that's him out at 4.5 kilometres. I can still see him flashing away. There you go. I can still see him flashing clear as day. That's 5 kilometres now. So I can still see him, right? He's flashing clear and bright. So I better zoom that back into it. Doesn't matter. I'll just talk. So I can see him, hear him, see him, no bother at all. And that's at past 5 kilometres. That's right. That's at 5,300 metres. So I'll just start bringing him back. Might as well. I don't think we need to go beyond that. proving, whether you believe me or not, I mean, I can see them still there flashing away. I don't know if the camera is picking that up. I won't know until I get back home. But I think I can still see them on the camera screen flashing away. And I can see them coming all the way back, just travelling back in reverse. So I would say that's a successful test of those wee Flytron Cree strobes. I wasn't expecting any traffic to come by tonight. I'll just lower them down a bit and get them into the, as much as I can, into the centre of the screen. That's quite interesting. Look at the ground there. That's the spotlight that he's producing on the ground. The landing lights. See, that comes on as he approaches the ground. Oh, the other light's off. So the light goes off at 5 metres. There you go, I think it's 5 metres. Yeah, 5 metres above the ground. The light goes off. So that's quite good. So there you go. Quite an interesting one. Don't know if you can hear me alright over the propellers there. But that was quite interesting. So I'm going to pack things up now. If you like this video, why not give us a thumbs up and share it and subscribe and all that kind of stuff, and become a member if you want for a couple of quid a month and get behind the scenes stuff and outtakes and videos that I don't publish in the main channel and things like that. Anyway, I'm just waffling now. I better get in. It's getting a bit cold now. So thanks for watching. Cheerio with the new.
Loch Doon, maar doel na houhen. Een feie storge, le blarnen jone kan. Is han a solais, a shola tronana. Windswept is wild, blas a gruga. Robert Mukhare. Tatim kalaurai Sanoi chachamak Sna solais guhoban Shell na solais Agairi na hegin Fras na hela Gan chachwa a guling Sa gruag na freger Foddy nach bibo Fyr na hoi Chele heibin gan gad Veiledd nam Bwyr nach margad. Windswept is a wild Blas y glygad. Robert Mocharid Ta ti'n cael nari Sy'n oed y chamach Sna solais gwahoban Shell na solais Na I geili na hei O hwy carid Tension mar'r bôn Onder Loch Doon Sylen shadow I mo Na hwlach yr on a ffai Sy'n goi gifin Aid nyn a heigen Nach tig go Cree Mar a grian a dofwr Chwys go heigen Ffai yn sŵl y mabach da smor Ach fad na hagen Ta tors a dig Mel yr ein y san y soleich sy lig Windswept is a wild Las a gragon Robert Mocharid Ta ti'n cael nori Sy'n oed yn hag Sna soleis gwahoban Siawn y soleis Ei geirig na heigin Andur na galdi Han lahar nach tiga Ysiraj na whisky Sa tilad mar ddŵr Marth ham yn ialai Ach sa wael y son Ban y solais Na ia